Hi, this is Miss Newbern, and today we're going to be learning about ecosystems. Remember that this is a flipped lesson, so you're going to need to have out your science journal. And if you forgot your science journal, just make sure you take out a piece of paper to follow along. And feel free to stop the video at any time and replay it and take notes as needed. So we have some focus questions, so you're going to need to set up your page with Cornell Notes. So have a title on the top, such as ecosystems, and on the left side you'll have the focus questions, and on the right side you'll take additional notes. The key vocabulary is going to be highlighted in red, so make sure that those get into your notes if you don't already know those vocabulary words. So the focus questions for the ecosystem lesson are: what needs are met by an organism's environment? What are the two parts of an organism's habitat with which it interacts? And what are the levels of organization within an ecosystem? Now in the back of your science journal, there are a list of roots. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out your highlighter and highlight that we've now gone over these roots. Once again, if you don't have this paper, you can download this off of the website rebeccanewbern.com and go under the Earth Science table of contents page. So the roots for today are com, which means together or common, photo, light, a, which is a suffix, which means without or not, eco, habitat, or referring to the environment, and ology, study of. And once again, you've seen a lot of these vocabulary words that have some of these roots in them. So this is a great way to expand your vocabulary. So community, communicate, photosynthesis, so photograph, like to take pictures or images or write with light. Abiotic, so that's going to be one of our vocabulary words today. And you can already we've already studied what bio means, life. A, without, so you've already got a sense that this is without life. So these are just some of the words. Make sure you highlight them in your science journal under your roots pages. So some of the vocabulary words for today are organism. Once again, you might need a pause to take these down on the right side of your Cornell notes. So organism, all living things are considered organisms. So I'm an organism, you're an organism, bunnies are organisms, plants are organisms, bacteria are organisms. All of these have particular requirements. For example, we need food, we need water, shelter that may differ from organism to organism. For example, we might need a house, whereas, a snail's requirements are going to look a little bit different than ours. And some of the other things that they need are ways in which for them to grow and reproduce. A habitat, that's the environment that provides the things an organism needs to live. So we have our own habitat. It looks, different than maybe what a bird does, but there are certain kind of overlapping things in terms of we need within our habitat our needs to be met for food, water, shelter, and the other requirements of living things. Now this diagram shows the abiotic factors. It also has the biotic factors for an organism. So biotic, once again, bio, living. So these are the living parts of a habitat. So you can see here, just take a moment and I bet you can identify, at least 5 things that are living in this picture. Okay, so for example, the rabbit and the mushrooms and the trees and the fox. The abiotic, once again, A meaning not, living, are the non-living parts. And so here it's air, wind, gases, and then you can get even more specific, because we've talked about soil, and so you can talk about the soil pH and those other kind of sub-factors within the abiotic component. So you know about the soil texture and all those things, so those are all going to be impacting the organisms and their ability to get their needs met. So other vocabulary words are population, all members of one species in a given area. For example, all the earthworms in our food forest. Community, all the different populations that live in a certain area. So that's going to include the earthworms and the birds that eat them and the plants and the trees and the fungus. So all of those different populations in a certain area that are living make up a community. And when you add in the abiotic factors, so when you get the biotic and the abiotic together, that gives you your ecosystem. Once again, you might need to pause, write down some of these vocabulary words, and then also kind of align them with the focus questions.